to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day.
This is Joe Pooh for IFL TV. We're here at Bijou, Sheffield for the GBM Sports Media Day. Johnny Nelson, how are we?
I'm good, thank you. It's nice that GBM have done it again. At their media day, they're announcing their show in October here in Sheffield at the new venue, which will be an iconic venue here in Sheffield. We get right size, right place, right location. They're actually it's a basketball venue, but they're on before the basketballs even had a game there as well. So I think Izzy's doing a great job.
Yeah, obviously, Izzy, in such a short amount of time, has kind of taken over this scene from this area, and he's really bridging the gap between small hall and the big arena shows.
Izzy runs Sheffield. He's if you're talking boxing in Sheffield, you know, this guy he's ticked the boxes. He's Mr. Boxing in Sheffield, which is a good thing. And I think it's the people that he's got involved, the infrastructure that he's set up, says it all.
And I think Sheldon, your boy, is on the card as well. So great to see him back out.
Of course, Sheldon's on. Listen, the guy's so talented, but he's a very, very clever guy as well. So he's not here just to make the numbers up. You know, he's calculating. He's a trainee accountant, so he'll do what's best for him. Very talented. We saw him in the tournament on Sky. We saw that he had more skill than everybody. He just didn't have the experience. So now it's about getting his experience through, and he spent this time off. Just sharpening his tools, may I say. So he's been good.
We last spoke to you, I think Umar did, just before the Dan Aziz press conference on Monday, I think it was.
Yep.
What did you make of that press conference? It was a bit frosty, more frosty than I thought we was going to see anyway.
With Dan Aziz,
yeah.
I think Dan, it's game face. It's game. That's what these boys have got to do. No nonsense. So, and I get that. I like that professionalism that both him and Joshua Boatse are now displaying. It has to be done.
And Mikhail Lawal versus Isaac Chamberlain, another really good fight, and the bit is definitely between both of their teeth.
Listen, this is not a done deal for Isaac Chamberlain. It's not a secret that I'm a massive fan of him. But if he goes in there to fight fire with fire against Lawal, he'll get turned over. Isaac needs to make sure he goes in there, uses his boxing brain, uses that skill, uses all the experience he's had to get to this point in his career. If he does that, he wins. If he gets talked into a tear-up, he loses.
I just want to ask you about a big fight next week. Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Daniel Dubois' chance at greatness, really. Just how much of a chance do you give the Brit?
He has a chance. He has a puntish chance, just like Frank Warren said. If we're all honest and brutally honest, that's the only chance he's got. So you know, it's worked for Deontay Wilder. He just seen that split second to get that shit off. We've seen with the times when he's been behind on points. That one shot has done it for him. And so Daniel Dubois has that shot, has that power, and he's proved that. So I'm always going to back the Brit. I hope he pulls it off. I'm realistic in saying that he's got a massive mountain to climb against Usyk, but you know, everything's possible.
Do you think it was the wrong choice, changing trainers so close to a massive fight for Daniel?
Well, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors, and so for him, you know, it's a case of, you know, he's done what's best for him.
And you spoke about Anthony Joshua, so we won't go into that, but it has been come out in the news over the past kind of 2-3 days that the Saudis have been in town. Negotiations are underway. You said to Umar that you don't think that fight's happening next with AJ and Wilder. Do you still think that after seeing some of the news that's come out this week?
Yeah, I do. AJ himself said he wants another 2 fights this year. Eddie said we're talking to Wilder. So there's no reason why it has to be next. Everybody just gets gassed and runs away with it. I do believe, you know, common sense and the people around him will say, look, right, let's just make sure we've ticked every block. Because losing to Wilder in the fashion that if he lost to Wilder, it could be career-ending. And regardless of what anybody's intentions are, if you lose to Wilder and you've been to the heights that Anthony Joshua's been, the loss is probably a knockout. And so I think that would be very hard for somebody that's a former two-time world heavyweight champion like Anthony Joshua, a household name here in the UK, to swallow. So you've got to make sure you've ticked every single box before you go in and fight Wilder. And I think that's what one more fight, tick that box and say, right, look, I believe in me now, I know I can do that.
What sort of opponent bridges the gap between a Robert Helenius was meant to be Dillian Wilder?
It's not about the opponent, it's about AJ. It's about AJ, because AJ's clearly got the ability, but he doesn't believe in what it looks like. He doesn't believe in what he wants you and I to believe in. So when he goes in there, and I keep saying owns his shit, own what he can do, owns his ability, own everything he can do about himself, then you say, all right, now he believes it. He don't need us lot. Didn't need to convince us. And I think when we've seen, ex-pros that have looked around and when they've seen him fight, they've said, yo, you can't get in there like that against Wilder. You've got to get in there, and think, right, I know everything that I can do, and I'm doing it.
Just a couple more things come out this week that UKAD and the British Boxing Board of Control have appealed Conor Benn's decision. Can I just get your reaction to that, and why do you think that they have taken the protocol to appeal?
They're appealing because they don't agree with the fact that Conor Benn failed a drug test, and the public, I think, he's got off on a technicality. You understand?
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. If I'm a policeman, I was going to say beastman there. If I'm a policeman and I come and raid your house, and it looks bad, and I come raid your house and I see certain illegal substances on your table in your kitchen, then you get a clever solicitor say, yo, you didn't have a search warrant, so I'm not guilty. You're still guilty, but you've just not had the right paperwork to come in and do the search. What I'm saying is, this is what it sounds like this situation is. This is what it sounds like the issue is, and this is why the Boxing Board of Control and have actually said, whoa, we're opposing this. The facts are the facts. This is what was found, and you've given us no other reason that will tell us we're wrong to think he's been cheating. So therefore, we're appealing it.
What is the right outcome, though? Because is it just going to go round in circles?
The right outcome is this. Stop your foolishness, take the ban, and get on with your career. That's it. Regardless, it's there, it's fact, it's there. And it's not, people aren't hating on you, people are just going with what they see. You can't say, believe me, not your lying eyes. They're going on what they see. Take the ban, get on with your career. You'd have a year left of a 2-year ban now. And that's it. But so dragging this out is foolishness, because I don't know how it works to say, okay, he's been off a year now, he's been fighting it all this time. I don't know what the situation is. Take the ban. Move on. Take the ban, work behind closed doors, then back in the mix.
Do you think we will see him fight this year? Gut feeling?
No. Gut feelings, no. Well, not with a British Boxing Board of Control licence, no.
Last one. Again, unfortunately, on the same kind of situation, Alicia Baumgardner. She's come back with an adverse finding. Just how much of a problem is it in boxing now that we are seeing more and more of these findings? Well,
there are thousands of fighters around the world. Unfortunately, when you've got one or two people that are failing a drug test, people think all fighters are like that. That's not the case. It's down to the governing bodies, all the governing bodies, to make the punishment far outweigh the crime. As in, I'll say it again, make everybody on the team that's with that fighter, ban them all for 2 years. So there'll be less people inclined to turn a blind eye if it affects their living, working with somebody else and everybody else. At the moment, the only person whose name you're hearing is the fighter. And that's not fair. Because even though the fighter has been found guilty, the fighter has not advised him or herself. The fighter has not supplied him or herself with it. The fighter is not the only one person that knows in that circle of trust. But it's the fighter is the only person that gets that suffer the consequences. The fighter's not the one that knows, I'll go on this program, then I'll go on that to flush it out, I'll go on that. Someone's advising them. And there's more people know than whatever, but what I'm saying is the fighter being less inclined to get involved and risk being busted if they knew if they got busted, it affects all their team, if they know or don't know. This is what needs to happen, and this will make a difference.
Excellent. Johnny, thank you very much for giving up a little bit of your time on a Sunday afternoon. I've got to get to Birmingham now. Oh, it's Saturday. Sorry, mate. Carl, I'm thinking of the weekend already. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
You to not be first.
Do we do enough? Well, I never shut up about it.
It must have been about 17, 16, 17. We nicked their guilt rings. Right, the bouncer's guilt ring.
This is no good for me. That's the reality. If you want the honest truth, and I see it every day,